Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? DavidSW, DavidSW, DavidSW. Go to DavidSW.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. DavidSW, DavidSW, DavidSW. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the Paul Pluta channel. Today guys, I'm doing a paid review. This is paid review 21QB51. This is an express review. These people have sent me big bucks to get this review done urgently. Let's go straight in. Wristwatch check. I'm wearing a Speedy Tuesday. It's Tuesday in Australia when I'm making this video. Hi Arch, please find $200 donation in PayPal under the name of this email address. First off, I would like to clarify my wife, Susan, and I are not watch collectors. We were what you would call one and done. I had a cheap vintage Datejust. Oh, I don't know if I'd use cheap vintage Datejust because they're quite expensive now. I paid $1,000 for in the mid-90s and wore it whenever I needed a watch. Susan had a Cartier Mini Banois white gold. We never gave a second thought to watches as a hobby. Interesting, she had a white gold Mini Banois. I mean, that is a fairly expensive watch. That was a expensive watch. It certainly wasn't cheap. They're a little bit delicate. They're precious metal, 18 karat, but a beautiful watch nonetheless. We never gave a second thought to watches as a hobby. During the doldrums of the lockdown, I thought I would cheer myself up and buy a Putin watch, the IWC Mark 17. I saw him wearing it during an interview. He has quite a few watches. Doing some preliminary research brought me up to YouTube, and at the bottom of the YouTube rabbit hole, we found ArchieLuxury and for the first time learned about shitters. Needless to say, mostly thanks to you, also Paul Thorpe, instead of an IWC, I bought a Rolex Deep Sea D Blue 116660 from DavidSW. While researching that purchase, I discovered a 1954 Submariner ad from National Geographic on eBay, and it became the inspiration for my three-piece meal deal. The next purchase was a Mark II 39mm Rolex Explorer, new and unworn from DavidSW. DavidSW. I highly recommend DavidSW. They were fantastic. The watch arrived the next morning. At that point, I could buy the last watch. I was considering cheating a little from the Submariner advert and possibly adding a GMT, either black or a Batco at the same time. I had discovered a group of people rebuilding their Gen 1 Porsche Cayennes for off-road use. I reached out to Artem. He was still unmonetized at this point, on a live show, and asked him what would he get, a watch or rebuild the car. Of course, he and Marco said to buy the watch. But I quickly came to my senses and realized neither of them even owned a car. So I undertook the build project. I added a pic. Our old Cayenne went from dump runner to trail runner, and I currently enjoy it more than our old 996, that's a 911 guys, or a Boxster. Yes, back in the day we bought the worst regarded Porsches in recent history, but we still love them. I don't mind them. For Susan we bought a Patek Philippe Ladies 4906 Calatrava, and added a big box and a couple of custom strats from Aaron B. Stroke. I also gave her my vintage 1600 two-tone Datejust, which is currently in New York City getting a complete overhaul. Before we brought it in for a service, she wore the Datejust all the time, and it suits her way better than it did me. I recently added another piece from the National Geographic ad, a 41mm Rolex Submariner, the 124060. Unworn from a retailer in Long Island where Blue Shirt got his 41mm bluesy. Thanks, Blue Shirt. He recommended them before the big split. DavidSW didn't have an unworn version that I was looking for. This is our COVID watch journey, and we had fun. Basically, because of a bunch of YouTube videos, we ended up with a 2 to 3 piece Hunger Buster meal deal. I am done and not looking to add any more, but we are thinking of adding a current model 36mm Rolex in the future for Susan. The watchmaker in New York City does not guarantee waterproof usage for vintage watches of that age, 1969, after restoration. We are thinking of possibly adding a two-tone Explorer or Black Explorer. Two-tone Explorer or Black Explorer. The new colored OPs are way over retail at the moment and do not look like good value. Thanks for the laughs and the knowledge, Arch. Like, subscribe, and tell your Fikehead friends. Rob, and best regards, Rob and Susan. So, a very interesting tale of what has happened to this couple here. And I want to address some of the things there. So, firstly, let's go through this here. Firstly, the Datejust from the mid-90s you paid $1,000 for. Wow, that was the days. They certainly doesn't mean it's garbage still, just because it was cheap. See, $1,000 in the 90s was kind of, that's like $3,000 or $4,000 today, and they were, they were very, very affordable then. The other thing is, Susan had a Cartier mini bandwear. I mean, does she come from money? They were never cheap. Cartier mini bandwear, the fashion was for the mini size. My wife actually had a mini bandwear in 18 karat. They got a beautiful satin strap that you can get from Cartier for it. I would probably get that service through Cartier. Lightly polished by Cartier, it'll come up a treat. Use it sparingly, please. This is not a waterproof watch. It's water resistant, and it's also fairly delicate because it's in a precious metal. Treat it with respect, and it's really an heirloom. That really is a beautiful. They are not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. About $12,000 replacement if you wanted to buy one from the. They don't do the mini like that, but to give you that gives you an estimate of how much they are, because the minis weren't so much cheaper than the normal ones. They were the same price basically. During lockdown, you wanted to, okay, so that's good. You bought the Rolex Deep Sea. That's the James Cameron. That is a big monster of a watch. It's a big size. Yeah, I don't think you can really go wrong with that. That is a beautiful watch. Monster size. That's a very useful watch to have there. Biggest, baddest Rolex. Just look after it, treat it with respect, and it will look after you. Remember, you need to get your seals checked every couple of years to make sure it's still waterproof. But an amazing watch. I totally agree with you. Then the other piece, I got to tell you, it's funny. The Cayennes, that's the four-wheel drive Porsches. They were so expensive in the day. I remember when they came out. And it's funny, they are really, Porsche makes good product. They were expensive, no end expensive. And I think good on you, rebuilding it, having fun with it. That sounds like a lot of fun there. I never really disliked the 996 or the Boxsters. I've always loved every Boxster that has ever come out. So I honestly, I can't say I would think they're ever a bad car. Any Porsche is beautiful. Then we come here. We're looking at the Paddock 9406. Wow, that's a great reference. That's a Calatrava. It's a very, it kind of goes in fashion with, I had the Paddock 5107. It's kind of the sister product to that. And it even has the crown guards on it. It's I think they're a beautiful watch. Back in the day, Paddock ladies were basically all quartz. Okay, 90s, 2000s, they were all quartz. Quartz isn't terrible for a ladies. All I say to you is look after it. Don't treat it like shit. This is a very special watch. I think they're beautiful. I think they're really, really lovely piece to have there. So, yeah, that's for sure. I wouldn't, you know, I definitely wouldn't say anything bad about them. I think they're really, really quite cool. So, a Paddock 4906, great ladies piece. Look after it. Again, it's not really waterproof. These are water resistant. I wouldn't swim with it. I'd be very careful. It's precious metal. Treat it with respect. It's a precious metal watch. That's good to hear you're getting the Datejust service. I'd also say I recommend Jewelers on Time. He does great vintage restoration work, but that's good you're getting it done. So that's a nice collection for a lady. So she's got her Paddock, the Banois, the white gold Banois, and the Rolex, which is very nice. And you yourself, you've got the James Cameron, you've got the 39mm Mark II Explorer 1, which that's fantastic buying. And you got a Bluesy. Man, what a beautiful little collection. Beautiful collection. And I agree. I don't think you guys really need any more watches. I think you got a great set. It's a beautiful set. I think you got a perfect set there. I would just be happy with that. And yeah, maybe add a 36. Maybe a 34mm might be a better size. Because if she's got the mini Banois, by all means, I would add the smaller size one. You know, I think maybe that could be the perfect size there. But what a great hobby. You guys seem like really great people. You're having fun. You are thinking things through. And I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you, for novices, let's look at your collection. James Cameron Deep Sea, that is a beautiful watch. 39mm Explorer 2, beautiful. And you've got the No Date sub. Those three Rolexes for you. You need nothing else. My advice to you is stick to Rolex. Rolex Steel Sports, you've got three beautiful pieces. Now your wife, Banois, man, you know how expensive these. She's obviously a lady from money, because that's not a poor person's watch. An 18K Banois, I can tell you this, that's not for poor people. So that's hideously expensive watch in the day. She's got a Patek, beautiful. That's a gorgeous Patek, and the Datejust. What a beautiful little collection to have. You've both got beautiful collections, and I agree. I think that's enough. And what a great fun. Porsches, you sound like a great couple. So I got to tell you, if you made a mistake in something, I would tell you. The only advice I give you is realize the Patek and the Banois, they are not waterproof. They're water resistant, but be very, just treat them with respect, because they are very beautiful ladies' watches. I got to tell you, for novices, What a great collection. Absolutely fantastic collection. I'd say 100% perfect. The Banois, that's very classy. The Patek, the 4905, that's not a reference, you know, that I hear a lot, but I love that reference. I think that's actually more beautiful than the Patek 24. I think that is actually a very beautiful reference. And she's then got the date just 36. What a great little collection. So well done. And guys, we will catch you in the next one. Guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Don't be afraid to get a paid review done, because I can't survive on Google Ads. Paid reviews keep me full-time on YouTube. So please, guys, get a paid review. Help us out and keep me full-time on YouTube. Look in the description how to organize a paid review and keep me here making vids. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to introduce a new service to you. ValueYourWatch.com. Proud supporters of ArchieLuxury. No seller's fees, no buyer's fees. That's right, guys. This is a trading platform to buy or sell watches. You can start selling for free. That's right. We advertise our paying for our paying subscribers on Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's a global platform. That's right, guys. Get $50 off the annual subscription by applying the coupon Archie when you check in there. But guys, you can try this for free straight away. Guys, you can start listing watches. ValueYourWatch.com. Give it a try and tell me what you guys think of that.
All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck.
Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 paid review. I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.